Okay, what I do, or the plan is to do a kind of short video. Got a lot of new accounts in my the leagues that I'm involved with. I just want to kind of go over some things for people that are still pretty new, and I'm talking about most of them under a million threat. Even the guys that are 3 or 4 million weird builds and stuff. Just want to go over some general stuff, and then maybe see how this video goes over, and maybe do another one later on down the line for some other stuff. But in general, kind of quick tips, rules to live by. One of the main things with new people, you don't want to just go out there and just start building everything you get. The first thing you want to do, you're going to get some gems, you're going to want to open a bunch of chests, and you end up with a bunch of weird shit. And you don't, if you look at the odds for these chests, well, let's just look at this one for instance. Everybody, especially the new guys, always want to get the legendaries. And, they can be cool, a lot of them, but, the odds are on any chest not in your favor. I mean, look at that. 0.252%. That's fucking terrible, dude. But anyway, you're going to end up, if you're opening a lot of chests, or now with solo raid and stuff like that, you're going to end up with a bunch of different people on your roster that are not really worth building. Now, in the beginning, you're going to have to build some things at the very, very beginning, because otherwise, who the hell are you going to play with, right? But as you'll see at the top of this roster, which is my main account, you got most of the main damage dealers that I need are the most built. Now, there's some caveats to that. This is organized, like filtered by threat level, so defense and health and stuff like that will kind of change the numbers on that sometimes. So like that dark side, I don't use him in raids. Shazam is a tank, stuff like that. So it's not necessarily, hey, every one of these is the most important, so I'll build all these. But what I'm saying is, I'm not spending a bunch of resources, especially nowadays, on a bunch of people that don't matter. And that's, here goes Martian Manhunter, which I got like a year ago. Never really did anything with him, So, anyway, number one is don't build things that aren't important, okay? So, for a person to start off with, let's get this out of the way. The most important thing at the beginning is to get King of Atlantis Aquaman as quick as possible. Build him as best you can, as early as you can, and go from there. And you can carry yourself a long way with basically this guy being the backbone of your whole roster, your whole attack, okay? So now you got solo raid and these league raids, and everybody sharing shards and stuff. So you get really far with just this dude right here being your main damage dealer in the beginning, okay? So start off with him, buy him with your league credits, only buy him with your league credits, and then, let some things fall to you as you go through solo raids, through league raids. You're going to open some chests, so some people you get out of there. Work with what you got, work with what's available to you, work with who's got extra shards of what in your league, within reason, and build from there. Everybody wants to just like, oh, I need black mana, trade me these black mana shards, or I need Aqua Woman the Drowned, or who's got Raven. It's not necessarily always the easiest, depending on who you got around you to get those things. So, especially when you're starting off, there's so many things that can help your roster that it's foolish to only focus on those things instead of other things that might be plentiful. I mean, hell, I'll willingly give up Silver Banshee 3,000 extra ones, dude. Silver Banshee is a really, really good damage card for a newer account because, she's gettable. She's got her challenge. She can do good damage, even with just the All Blades, even without any other artifacts on the team. You can get up there in 20, 30 million damage in some situations. She can help you pretty well on solo raids once you learn how to do it. But, anyway, just focus on what you can get your hands on and kind of build from there. And then it's cool to try to get legendaries, but like let that shit kind of be on the back burner, and then if you're fortunate enough to get some as you go, then then you go from there. But don't spend so much time and energy focus on that. All right. The next thing I want to go over right quick is artifacts. Okay, so it's the same vein basically, in that not all the artifacts are created equal. You don't just need to build everything you get. You don't need to. Don't mind me, because obviously I got a whole bunch of them. Just too lazy to shatter a bunch of them. But you don't necessarily need, if you're a newer player and you don't have a whole bunch of different artifacts built for different things. I don't need all these agility artifacts. I'm just too lazy to shatter them all the time. So when you're starting off, wait till you get your first all blades, or tab, some people call it, a lot of people call it, and then pour all your materials into maxing one out to level 10. And if you want to see how much material that's going to be, how much it's going to cost you, it costs 257,000 of the Azure fragments to max out one from 1 to 10. That's a whole lot of shattering. Okay, so that's a long haul operation. So don't try to get too fast on that. But that's more important than most other things. Okay, obviously with the solo raid artifact drops, there's more to consider. But I'm just trying to keep this kind of short and go over some of the basic stuff. Okay. One more kind of quick thing I want to get into right quick is kind of what I would suggest to be like the daily grind. I would say hit your campaign, okay? If you have time, you're especially like a young dude, or if you has a lot of free time, or girl, I guess. Play the battles, okay? Just sim, okay? If you have time. If you don't, cool, man. Sim them. Sim whatever you can. Maybe the whole top heroic, and then do as much normal as you can too, right? Until you run out of energy, or close to it, okay? If you're still starting off, you might want to do some. Of the resource missions as well. Going to help you with some of the XP caps. To help you, grow your roster. Right. Next thing on the daily list you want to do, get you some arena. Okay. So if you're a newer account, you're not really getting too high in arena. That's all right. Go ahead and grind and get what you can to start off with, and then as your roster builds, as your gameplay gets a lot better, you'll move up. But depending on your arena and all that stuff. But in general terms, you'll move up. Okay. Same thing with champion arena. Get what you can. Really. Get some free gems and whatnot. Get your little your prismatic shards or whatever, class shards. Take that where you can, when you're starting off. You get in the habit of grinding those things if you're trying to get better, at the beginning. Something else. Obviously, you want to play your solo raid, your league pips. One more thing I want to go over right quick is back to King of Atlantis, and then I'm going to cut this off in maybe 60 seconds. When you get... I'm in jumps right now, so I'm not even going to lead thing, but when you get King of Atlantis unlocked, even with 3 stars, okay, he's not going to do a whole lot of damage besides his percentage damage, okay? So, long story short, King of Atlantis, when you unlock him, one of his passives is Special 3. The first 3 of them will take away 10% health, capped at 3 million, okay? So when you have a 3-star, like 10 or 20 level gear, King of Atlantis Aquaman, you can get almost 10 million from your one pip, right off the bat. With some decent gameplay. Obviously, if you're that low of an account and it's your first account, you might not necessarily be there yet, but that should be your goal. Okay, so once you unlock them, you should be trying to shoot for 10 million damage with just that one fight in your league raid. So that's why he's so important. And then once you get better, even without all the other special artifacts and stuff like that, you can get up to 20, 30, 35 million or more. So he's super important, especially for a newer account. You don't have all the bells and whistles, all the cool stuff that people who've been playing long ago, that people have spent a lot of money on. Go from there, build King of Atlantis, you know, maybe League of Anarchy. We've been lucky enough to get some gear drops. Build your Silver Banshee. You know, this game is like a long grind unless you're gonna spend a whole lot of money on it, and most people don't want to do that. Okay, so 10 minutes. That's more than I was looking for, but we'll leave it at that for now.